Do you want to feel amazing? Then your workout should probably be boring. Hello everybody, my name is Glenn. I'm a pain-free personal trainer. Welcome to the Growth Lab podcast, all about helping you build more confidence and resilience in that beautiful body of yours. And today, we're talking about a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and that is exercise and why it should be just a little bit, if not completely boring. I know that's a bold statement and a lot of people probably don't want to hear that, but it's true. So hear me out. This is how I'm thinking about it. First and foremost, exercise is really all about physics. Now, I talked about this on a separate podcast, but it's this idea that if the definition of exercise is doing physical activity that's supposed to provide a positive health outcome or more function to your meat vehicle, so to speak, then it's really about how do we apply physics to the human body. See, exercise is really just a physics equation. Whether you're walking, running, doing resistance training, whatever that might be, all you're doing is playing around with how does force affect your body. Leg extensions, we've got a pad pushed against our shin and we're trying to extend it, and because it's heavy and it challenges those muscles, it burns a little bit. We can't do a ton. We call that resistance training. Or if we go for a run, it is some moderate range of motion done at a higher tempo where we're trying to overcome the force of gravity pushing down on our body and win resistance as we run forward. No matter how you chop it up though, exercise is very much about physics being applied to the body to create some kind of positive health outcome. So with that in mind, I would say to you this, is that if there's a particular outcome you're trying to achieve, whether it's you want to have stronger shoulders or pain-free elbows or increase your cardiovascular health, if you take into account your range of motion, each one of your joints, how much force they can tolerate, the relative endurance of each of those pieces, you can start to reverse engineer backwards what you can and cannot do and what would be beneficial for you to do for a certain goal and what would not be beneficial to do for a certain goal. And so with that in mind, if you really want to get nitty gritty or you're dealing with a very difficult physical problem, we've got some very specific goals, you have to have very specific exercise to solve those problems. And so in that way, exercise ought to be boring, meaning that we have to do the things that we need to do rather than maybe the things that we feel like we would like to do. Now, that doesn't mean exercise in of itself has to be unenjoyable. And I'll be honest, saying exercise is boring is a bit of a catchphrase, not really a catchphrase. It's a way to open up a curiosity loop to get you a little bit more interested in the topic so I can share some of these concepts with you. Now, we would like exercise to be enjoyable, but at the end of the day, fundamentally, if you have a specific goal, you have to do specific things to help move you forward in that direction. I guess I'll put it to you in this way. If we had some kind of extreme technology where we could measure the health and the strength of every single joint in the body, every single one of the bends in every single one of our fingers and digits, our elbow joint, if we take a look at all of that, know the range of motion, the endurance, everything, and we could put that in a computer and we had all that data, we could use artificial intelligence to figure out what would work well, what wouldn't work well, because we just have a plethora of information. Now, we're not there quite yet, but I think that idea hits home in that if we had access to the vastest amount of information and we could process everything, we could churn out exactly the kind of exercises you would need to do to help you with XYZ goal. So let's move on from that. Exercise is goal dependent. And so if you really want to get to a place, whether it's you want to be able to travel, not have to worry about your endurance when you walk, or maybe it's something as simple as I want to get out of bed in the morning without having to deal with back pain and tightness. You have to know where you want to go and then start reverse engineering backwards. What is it going to take in order to do that thing? I have clients who like to travel, but they deal with ankle pain and discomfort, or they dealt with back pain and discomfort. One person, I'll use the initial CB. When we first started working together a couple of years ago, she had just herniated a disc and she'd fallen on her knee joint many times and it didn't move very well. And because she is a travel agent, she wants to be able to walk around and enjoy travel. She didn't feel confident doing that. She was frustrated that she couldn't trust her body, and she was upset because she loved to travel. She needs to do that for her work. She loves seeing the world, and it just wasn't a reality for her to do as much of that at the time as she wanted to. So what we did is we worked backwards. We said, okay, if you want to be able to be on your feet 8 to 10 hours a day, walk around sandy dunes in Egypt or the rocky roads of Europe, what's it going to take to do that? And we started working backwards. Well, let's collect some knee data. Your left knee has less strength, it has less endurance, it can't really react as quickly. Great. Let's start creating programming and exercising around that and working backwards from where you want to go and figure what we got to do next. And so for her left knee, we just started very easily doing some very gentle knee extensions. I put a 5-pound weight on her leg and we started having her do some exercises like that. And over time, the control of that joint got better, as well as the strength and the endurance. And then from there, we moved into more of a traditional exercise machine. And then we started filtering that knee that got stronger, more endurance into things like leg pressing and squatting. We built and constructed a program around what she wanted to do. And once the knee was strong enough, we started having her do some walking on a treadmill to increase her endurance so that when she took her next trip, she could spend 8 to 10 hour days walking upstairs, going up and down hills, going downstairs, going down hills. Not have to worry about that joint fatigue and giving her pain or any kind of discomfort. And so I'd put it to you, if you've got a thing that you want to be able to do or a nagging injury or discomfort, you have to collect a whole bunch of data, know your goal and what you want, and then reverse engineer and work backwards the appropriate steps in order to start helping that thing feel better and to get to where you want it to be. I'm going to share one last point on this otherwise short but important podcast. And that's that just because exercise, in my opinion, should be very much based on your personal settings of your strength, your endurance, your tissue tolerance, it doesn't mean that we can't still enjoy the workouts. And it doesn't mean that we can't do some stuff that we enjoy that our body can tolerate after we do some of the things that are really, really important. Some of my clients, they want to work on their hip and glute muscles because they like training those muscles. And after we get through most of the important stuff we need to, I'm happy to do that because exercise can still be fulfilling and enjoyable, but we need to make sure we get the stuff that we need to get done first. Now, what happens if you want to do an exercise that you like, but it causes you pain and discomfort? And then you pay for it the next day. And I'm not talking a little bit of muscle soreness. I'm talking about there's some stinging or there's some radiating nerve pain or something deep in a joint doesn't feel good. It's not necessarily associated with the muscle. Is that really worth it? Do you want to push your body like that for 5 years and create irreparable damage, or even condition your brain and sensitize your nervous system to feel pain discomfort every time it uses that joint? Probably not. So we have to find ways to get what we need to get done, but it doesn't mean you can't also add some stuff in there that you do enjoy afterwards. And there's other things you can do as well. If you work with a personal trainer, work with someone that you like. Make exercise the main focus, but it's okay to have some rapport. It's okay to talk about life events and share common experiences as long as you keep exercise the main thing. You can listen to music that you like while you exercise, or maybe a podcast. Go to a place where you like the environment. I mean, all these things matter because, believe it or not, your body actually codes emotion to your experiences. And if you exercise and you enjoy the person that you're exercising with, or you learn to enjoy the exercises that you're doing, or you think to yourself, even though I don't love this thing right now, I know it's going to get me to where I want to go in the future. And that becomes how you begin to ingrain the experience of exercise and those emotions with the exercise experience. Your body actually learns to enjoy exercise. It learns to want to do that thing. I know for a lot of people that's really, really hard because they don't like to exercise. Because let's be honest, anyone takes a month off of moving and challenging their body, there's now resistance to it. The body doesn't necessarily like to do hard things, but if you maintain some frequency of some kind of challenging exercise a couple of days a week, it's a lot easier to maintain that momentum. So you can still do some stuff that you like when you exercise. And you can still listen to music or do exercise and go to the gym with people that you enjoy going to the exercise, doing the exercise process with, But exercise at the end of the day, honestly and truly, the foundation of it, the 80-20, the thing that's going to make the most difference in your health and your wellness and the use of your body is doing the things that are going to be important for you to feel good, to get you closer to your physical goals. And that really comes down to how to physics impact your exercise process when they interact with your anatomy. So exercise should be boring, but it doesn't mean it can't be fun. My name's Glenn. I'm a pain-free personal trainer. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know below what you thought about this. If you think I'm wrong, let me know if I'm crazy. And if you think I'm right and I'm onto something, let me know. We can explore more of these topics in future episodes. Take care, everyone.